everybody? It is Town V. It's Haley. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe.
the
About
what
talking
the
about. So, my guest today with me is, as it says in the title, Chris Stewart. Welcome to my channel, Chris.
Thank you. Glad you're having me.
Okay. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties. I don't know.
Can
Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. No, I said that I have a wonderful guest with me, which is my friend Chris Stewart, and then I said, "Welcome to my channel, Chris," and then I didn't know if you heard me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard you.
I know. Internet.
hmm
Okay.
Lovely when it
So,
works.
guys. Like, seriously. So, guys, in this stream, Chris is going to tell you guys a little bit about him, of course, and we're going to talk about what we're going to be talking about, which is our podcast, which is called Low Vision Technology. But before we do that, Chris, since this is the first time on you being the first time on my channel, do you want to tell my people a little bit about you?
Well, I'm visually impaired. I've had my visual impairment ever since birth. I also have cerebral palsy, which affected my lower limbs, which meaning my agility and mobility is not as good as the average person. Um, I take right now I'm taking training courses over at a career and training center, which is for the low vision and blind students. And
Nice.
I'll be finished up there on.
Okay. Cool. And just a little background story for you guys. Chris and I, we met through a freeway phone call, which was not completely told by me or him. The mutual friend of ours, she literally had me on the phone. She just said, "Hang on," and then I heard him. And honestly, immediately I thought it was one of her new boyfriends. I'm like, please no, please that not be the case. And it wasn't. Thank goodness. So we talked for a while on Messenger because we didn't have each other's numbers. Even though we were on a freeway call together, we still didn't have them. And then I think I was the one that brought it up, saying like we should have each other's numbers, and he agreed. So, and we
Yep.
talk a lot, so that
Yep.
works.
hmm
So, for this stream, we're going to be talking about the Low Vision Technology podcast, where it's available on Apple Podcast, Anchor, and Spotify. So you can check it out, subscribe, and listen to it, and you can share it if you wish. Throughout the stream, Chris will talk about how he came up with the idea, how he asked me to be a part of it, why he considered about me being his co-host, and I'll say whatever I have to say because most of it was his idea. And if you guys have any questions or any compliments or any sort, please put it in the comments and I will read them. So every so often I'll look at them. And right now, Blind Toes is in the chat. He's waving his toes high. Not literally, of course, but it's his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, I know. Hey, Blind Toes, how you doing?
He says, "What's up? Waving my toes high. Hello, Blind Toes." Alright. So again, if you have any questions for Chris, for me, or for both, let us know. Anyways, so, Chris, would you like to tell everybody what low vision technology is to begin with?
Well, low vision technology helps visually impaired and blind students live through life and go through daily living and work. Um, I decided to name the podcast after that because not everyone knows how to use the technology, what it is, how do you how do you get it, any free services or anyone that can help you achieve. and and me myself being having low vision, I use software like NVDA, Zoom Text, and JAWS. and voiceover on the phone.
I thought, uh-oh.
What's going on?
My place is having a horrible internet fart, so if it sounds like I'm breaking up, my bad. But can't control the internet, apparently. So, no, well, I can't. So, there's that. So, Chris, would you like to tell everybody how I came to the picture about podcast wise? Because I mean,
Well,
originally it was just you in the trailer. Then we were talking about it, and I was just on there for I guess for the first episode. And then you're like, actually, I was considering you being my co-host. So do you want to tell them how that came about?
well, I came up with that idea because of what because you told me your backstory of losing your vision and when you were a child, and it really intrigued me. And I wanted people to get to know you and understand that even though you still go through life.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, sorry about that, Blind Toast. Blind Toast says there's a little bit of a lag. Yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
It's the internet's fault. Anyways,
Yep.
yeah. So I first did the first episode where we were talking about blind schools, about like he went to public school and I went to blind school, but he did go to the same blind school I went to for like a summer camp program. So we were talking about that, and after we did the episode, he asked me like, "Hey, would you like?" I was actually considering you being my co-host. I'm like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I'm up for that."
Yep.
So we do the podcast together, and it's really fun.
Yep.
So far,
Oh my goodness.
first
It's been quite fun.
it's called traveling or traveling as a blind or visually impaired person. And then the third one was
Yep.
called oh gosh, what
It
the
was
heck was
about
it called
dating.
specifically?
It was about dating.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think it was called blind and visually impaired dating or something like that. I don't know.
Yes, that's
I'll
yes,
have to
that's
look
right.
at it. Okay. I'm trying to remember the exact titles. So I was like,
Right.
is that what it was called? Yeah. And they're fun episodes. They really are. I
Yep.
enjoyed them. And we're actually doing our next episode next Friday. Is it at 3 or 1? I
Yes.
forgot.
Three.
Okay, it's at 3. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So at 3 p.m. we're going to be recording the episode. There's gonna be two parts. It's gonna the first part we're gonna talk about being creative. So like for instance, we do the podcast. How did we get inspired of doing that? Me with my YouTube channel, how I got inspired to do that, and me writing songs and plays or whatever it may be. So we're gonna talk about that for the first part, and then the second part will be focused on who's in the chat, Blind Toes. So he's gonna be our first guest of the episode. If he wants to chip in of the main topic, at the first part of the episode, he can if he has any comments or anything or any parts of the responses. And then
Right.
after that, Chris is going to take charge of the first part. And then since I was the one that kind of introduced Blind Toast to Chris, I asked him could I take charge of the second part, and he said I could. So it'll be fun.
Yep.
It'll
Share,
be really
sharing the
fun.
sharing the responsibilities of the podcast. It's always fun and easier that way. And
Yes, it
easier
is. So
that
you don't
way.
have to do everything. Yeah, so you don't have
Right.
to do
Exactly.
everything.
Exactly.
It's less stressful.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at a comment Blind Toes left. Blind Toes says, "You need to break out your hotness so it won't lag." Blind Toes, you got jokes.
Joke, he do. He got jokes for real.
You got jokes.
He really
Guys,
do.
in
He
case if
got.
you don't know, I'm just gonna say this because this just occurred. Blind Toes calls me Hottie Valente, like instead of just saying Haley Valente or as some people say Holly for some reason. he changes it to Hadi Valente. I don't remember the reason why, but it's funny. I find it
Hmm.
funny. So that's the reason why we joke around with the name.
Hmm.
So yeah. So of course, if I remember correctly, Chris, you can correct me if I'm saying something that's not accurate. But
Okay.
him and I, we talk. We basically get on the phone and we talk about topics that we both agree on that would be good for the podcast. And if one of us has a topic that we agree on and the other one doesn't really, or is coming up with, and the other person's like, I don't think so, then we'll compromise. We'll come up with something else because,
Exactly. That's what you're
hey,
supposed to do.
yeah. So, Chris, is there a way for people to send topics to us? Because, of course,
Hmm.
whoever's name you want, then be able to say, I think you should talk about this. So, is there a way for people to reach out to Low Vision Technology for suggestions or questions?
I
Hey,
think you
that
could just.
rhymes. Suggestions, questions.
I think I know on the Facebook page, on my Facebook page, when I upload it to there, they can leave comments in there, comments and suggestions in that. As far
Okay, so put it on the Facebook post whenever you share the episode.
yes, because I'm not
Okay,
sure because I'm not
yeah.
sure if you can do that through Anchor or do that on the podcast app. I'm really not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that honestly. There's a lot of things I know, but there's also a lot of things that I don't know. So that's even Stevens. JMW Boss is in the chat. He says, "What's up?" Hello, JMW Boss.
What's up? How you
Uh,
doing?
it's so JMW Boss. This is my friend Chris, and we're doing a podcast together. It was, of course, his podcast, but after I appeared on on the first episode, he asked me to be his co-host, which I did not hesitate to accept. So there we go.
No hesitation. No
No,
hesitation at all.
no, there wasn't any. No, I mean, let Chris confirm. Was there any hesitation out of my mouth?
No, none whatsoever.
No, there was not. So yeah, just whenever either Chris or I share the episode link to Facebook for you guys to watch it, you guys can write in the post saying, "Hey, like I have a question," or if you have suggestions, you could do that too.
Yep.
So
And
yeah, that'll be good. Or if you guys
we'll
have
both
topics for us
get
for the
back to get.
podcast for the future, right now, you can put them in the comments and I'll write them
Yep.
down and I'll send them to Chris. So,
Good idea.
so, alright, no comments. Hey, apparently, according to a friend of mine, he treats me like I'm his secretary. So I'm like, okay, I'm your volunteer secretary because he doesn't
What?
pay me.
What?
I think you know what I'm referring to.
Oh,
I
that
think.
person. Oh, that person.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'm trying not
Okay.
to say names. But
Got you.
that worked out perfectly because I'm like, oh, that's a good example.
Yep. And to be honest, the main reason I wanted to do the podcast is because not everybody knows about the different tools or different companies or different ways that the visually impaired and blind individuals go to school, work, everyday living.
Yeah. So, yeah, which I think is, of course, very important to know. And of course, people, they do YouTube channels based on blind resources or
Hmm.
anything like that. And also, I considered to Chris before, at least I think I did, but if not, I'll say it on here now, that for a future episode idea, we could talk about like any types of resources you can get for free,
Yep.
with your
Like,
state, because there is resources. There's
hmm,
always help around.
exactly.
So don't
Like,
think you're the only person that's blind or visually impaired in your area and going, "Oh no, like I don't know what to do." There's
it-
always resources. The internet has everything.
exactly. You're not alone.
No.
Because every state have some sort of Have some sort of program like a VR program, which stands for vocational rehabilitation.
Yeah. Yep. That is so true, and it took long enough, but I'm finally registered with mine. So
That's good.
it literally took a few months. It was so annoying. I was like, really? Okay. Because anytime I would call anybody, I
Hmm.
would leave voicemails all the time because it's a professional thing to do. Normally with my friends, I don't leave voicemails because they don't check
It
them.
is.
But with professional things like that, I do leave voicemails because they would get back to me eventually. But as
Hmm.
soon as I found out, okay, yes, you're officially registered with the Massachusetts State Commission for the Blind, I'm like, thank goodness. Like I was so anxious. I was like, am I registered or not?
I know
So
that was a
yeah,
headache. That was a headache on it.
it was quite annoying, and I think it was annoying to my mom too. Yeah, I think so because I think it was annoying to
Hmm.
mom too. She's like, they're not good at getting back to you, are they? I'm like, nope, they are not.
Any other comments or questions so far?
Talking about yes, thanks. I agree with that.
What?
Uh, basically was in the comments that talked about different types of blind
Hmm.
like different types of technology and yeah.
Oh,
And again,
oh,
just because it's called low vision technology, that does not mean it's just low vision technology. It can be
right,
about
exactly.
blind stuff too, because I mean he's the one that's low vision, I'm the one that's blind. So
Yep,
there's one apiece.
exactly.
There's one apiece.
Oh,
And also another suggestion, Chris, that I just came up with was that maybe for one podcast episode we could talk about like any summary version. Because I'm pretty sure we could talk about it for hours and hours. But we could talk about our own personal experiences with visually impaired or blindness or whatever other situations that we might be dealing with
oh yeah, that's a good idea.
disability wise.
Yeah, that's a
I was
good
trying to figure out
idea.
how to say it without it being sounding weird.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, that didn't sound too awkward to people. But yeah,
Not to me.
because for me,
Hmm.
I went blind when I was 8. I was not born this way. Was it
Jesus.
terrifying? Yes. What did the doctor think I was crazy? Yes. But I'm not because I've been blind for 13 almost 14 years of my life. So yeah, and
Yeah,
people ask me all the time, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, oh boy, it's a long story. So
that's
hey,
yeah, that's
if you're asking, you're willing to know. Great, I'll tell you.
exactly. I will. I got
I don't care.
me either. And I have a friend who had their sight all the way up through middle school and started losing it then. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, and as Chris told me before, that it's good for me that I lost my sight when I was younger than as I was getting older because like I'd be so used to doing driving and stuff like that. If I went blind, I'm like, I can't do that anymore. So yeah.
right. Because a matter of fact, there are older people in the program that I'm taking classes at right now. They have recently lost their sight over the years and they're starting over.
Yeah, and that's pretty rough.
Hmm.
That's pretty rough actually. Oh, and also the different types of resources that you can have, such as like braille labelers and stuff like that. I actually ordered one. Well, technically my mom did. She ordered it because we got enough money for it because it was pretty expensive. It's a
Oh, really?
braille label. Yeah, it's a braille labeler because we have one, but it's a
Hmm.
cheap one and it's a piece of garbage. Literally, like all you gotta
God.
do is line up the braille letter with the hole and push down the handle. But when it came out, the braille's
Hmm.
like faded out. It's like and like no matter how hard you would push down on the handle, it still doesn't
Hmm.
come out fully, which is annoying. So I'm like, okay. So
And and speaking of technology and braille labeling, if anybody needs any audio technology, I would download NVDA. It's free. You download it from Google.
Yeah, I actually had that on my computer too. Because the main reason why I downloaded NVDA before originally on my computer was to play a game. Because this game I have called BeatStar, it's an audio game, an audio sound pack game. It does
Hmm.
not work with JAWS at all. I'm like, really? How the heck am I supposed to play this? And a friend of mine said, download NVDA. I'm like, how do you do that? Because I never used it.
Hmm.
And he showed me how. I got a preferred voice I want, and it was actually not that hard for me to learn because most of the commands were the same as JAWS, just some are different.
Yep. Because like in my assistive technology class, I'm using that to work on Google Sheets, which is Google's version of a spreadsheet. It's not that hard to use.
Blind Toast says, yes, can also talk about different skills. Basically, talk about different types of skills that we can do. And then he also says, talk about each state has a different blind center or program, or programs rather.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea. We have to do some research on that, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, because like so far the topics we've been doing, we're able to like come off with information from our heads because it's like the common topics that should be spoken about, but they're
Hmm.
not.
Right.
But like with stuff like the state commissions or the programs or anything, yeah, we'll have to do research. But
Yep. We definitely will.
and again, it doesn't have to be just about technology. Like if it's like a
Mhm.
blind and visually impaired program to help you get prepared for college,
That's,
that could be an option, or help you to get prepared for work. That's another option.
yep.
Anything that's blind or visually impaired related, I would
Because
say.
yes, because even here in North Carolina, there are some companies that are hired give you a job coach, and they go out and they help you with applications. They come with you on interviews. They'll be there with your training.
Yep.
They're basically your backup for if something's not right at the job and you feel uncomfortable with it. And yes, I've had that experience.
Yeah. The people that help you out with things like that, that's their job. So it's not
Yep.
like, oh, you don't have to do it, and they're not doing it because they want to. It's their job. Like they're trained to do what they do. They went to
Yep.
school or they apply for a job that they do what they want to do. They want to help people.
Yep.
So, and again, you
Like
don't have to know everything. You don't have to know everything or be a professional to help somebody with something. I mean, I'm definitely not a professional, but I help somebody with setting up an account with something, and I also showed them how to download a game. So,
yep.
yeah, you don't have to be a professional about anything. So,
Oh no. Mm-mm. So, sometimes it's just the natural abilities of what you know and how to do things that come across.
yeah, exactly. So, Chris, is
Yes.
there any like specific details of the pod? Is there any specific details for the podcast that you want the viewers to know about that's coming up?
Well, the we're gonna have
Besides
a
us talking with blind toes next week. Besides that.
I'm trying to
Besides that.
I'm trying to arrange a
So,
okay. I'm trying to arrange a special interview for the podcast with orientation and mobility instructors to get them to talk about that field of profession. Um,
yeah. And of course, we already have the questions like written out. I sent them to Chris, and
yes,
that we actually have our names like next to each question, so we know who would ask what. But we wouldn't say, "Haley, it's your turn to ask a question," or "Chris, it's your turn to ask a question." That's not what we're doing. We'll look at the document, and then we'll know who's asking what, and then once each person responds, then we'll go on to the next one.
yep,
That's how that works. So we
and
already have that planned for ahead of time. So
yep, and Haley. Eventually, I want to get someone from that works with disability rights on here for an interview. 'Cause I have a friend connect with her first.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hey, that'd be good.
Yep.
That would be good.
Because the plan is I'm gonna email her this week and see what her schedule is like, and I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. And just to clarify, guys, you'll always see or hear me rather in the podcast because I'm his co-host. You'll just if
Yep.
we have like a special guest like Blind Toast for instance, you will see that in the title like along like what we're talking about or like if we're talking about like the main topic and then the guest or we have the guest along with the topic. We'll say the title and then special guest, who whatever they want to go by.
Yep.
So
And I feel like this podcast is gonna inspire a lot of people too.
I hope so. I think that'd be good.
Hmm.
Blind Toes, yes you are. Blind Toes says I'm a natural good looking. Well, not me, but him. Yes you are. With your waving toes and everything.
Hmm.
Yes you
Hmm.
are.
Hmm.
Again, I'm telling you, this guy has jokes, which
Yes, he does. I can tell.
usually when someone tries to make me laugh, most of the time I don't understand the joke. I'm like, what? I don't get it. But somehow with Blind Toes, he always cracks me up.
It comes off natural.
So yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, and speaking of other types of resources, well, not really resources. I call it a resource because I
Mm-hmm.
treat it like it is. So on my channel, on the second, the fourth Sunday of the month, because that's when the people I have on are available most of the time. I have a topic or a series called General Topics where we talk about anything that's useful or informative or anything like that. Or if we don't have anything, it'll literally just be random chats just for fun. And Blind Toes will be there every time I do it. We have another co-host. Her name is Nicole Cata. That's what she goes by on YouTube. You can check her out. She will be there whenever she can be. She was able to be there last time, so we'll see if she's able to be there for the next one. But if not, that's fine too. We actually have a messenger group where we're talking about details of like, do you have suggestions of topics, or please let me know if you're gonna be there or not be there, and so on. And that's how we communicate for that.
Gotcha.
And Chris, if you would like, probably not this Sunday, but but one Sunday when we do general topics, would you like to be on?
Yeah, I thought I told you that.
Well, I'm having my listeners and viewers hear that response because you told me that when we were not live yet.
Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm like I know that, but they don't. So
Sure.
okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
that's gonna be fun. Can't wait for that.
I think it's fun. Yeah, when you listen to the playbacks, you're just thinking like, these people, they're serious, but like in the mix, they're also goofballs, which is the point of it.
Exactly.
That's the point of it. It's not supposed to be like a college lecture though, where you just sit there and just go, are they done yet?
Yeah, you
No,
don't want to.
that's not what
You
that
don't want to.
is.
No, you don't want. You
It's
don't have that
no.
feeling. You don't have that feeling of you want to fall asleep. And that's how we try. And that's how we
Yeah.
try to do our. That's how we try to do our podcast. Make people inform people, but also have fun with them.
Oh yeah, we definitely do. Or at least I try to crack jokes, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm like, well, dang. I didn't get a slight laughter out of anybody. Shoot. Thanks, Blind Toes, by the
If we're
way.
trying.
Blind Toes said he just followed me on Twitter. So yeah, speaking of social media,
Hmm.
like Chris said, when him or when either of us share the link of the episode of the podcast, will, if I remember, which I'm pretty sure he will, and I will too, will
Hmm.
write in the post saying like if you have any questions or any suggestions of topics, please write them in the post. And of course, we look at our Facebooks. At least I
Yep.
do. So
Yes, I do.
I'll write them down, or he'll let me know, and either he'll write them down or I'll write them down, whichever when he
Yep.
prefers to do. It seems like me writing them down and sending it to him works out perfectly. I don't know, but
Yep.
so
And
there's
I'm
that.
also
And if you want,
I was about to say I'm
go
also
ahead.
on I was about to say I'm also on Twitter. Yes, I'm
Yeah, I was
also
gonna
at,
say like if you guys want to, you guys can follow us and subscribe to our personal things, which Chris will
yep.
tell. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm on Twitter at Big Time 28.
Again, it's a cool name. It's a cool name. So yeah,
Yep.
that's his Twitter. My Twitter is at talented with a capital T, capital H underscore capital V because I could not use a period to save my life because when I tried to, it would not let me. So there's that. So those are our Twitters, and right now with the YouTube situation, when we're trying to make a YouTube channel for this, I don't know what the progress of that is. So there's that. And my YouTube is the same as right now, Talented HV. And yeah, you can catch us on those. And again, if you have questions or suggestions of the podcast and you're listening to a live stream of mine for like general topics or so, just say, hey, I have a question or topic for low vision technology, and let me know in the chat. I'll write it down.
Yep.
I will always take them whenever I'm doing a live stream of any kind, whether if it's my channel for general topics or for the interview segment,
You can
whoever that
also
mainly is, I'll have you
right,
guys put there if you wish.
right. You can also leave them on Twitter as well and Facebook comments.
Okay, I apologize. It broke up and then I heard a big little bang noise. What did you say?
I said I said they can also leave questions and comments on Twitter and Facebook.
Yes. No matter where we share the episode links on Twitter or Facebook, you can always put them there. So, there's that. Yeah, so again, please follow Chris's Twitter, my Twitter. Check out our and like find us on Facebook. So whenever we do share the podcast episodes, you guys can put your questions there. So please check out my YouTube channel, Talented HV, and hopefully we can get the low vision technology one up there soon because
So yep.
that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be. I just
It
don't
really.
know how. Of course, I think Chris could probably figure out. I don't know how to take like audio or stuff like that from Anchor or from Apple Podcasts and stuff and put it on like in an actual video for YouTube. I don't know, but
Yeah, I got to figure that out too. I'm not sure on
so
that yet either.
we're gonna figure it out as we go along. So.
Yep.
So I'll give everyone a couple more minutes for comments or for questions. In the meantime, would you like to share about anything else about low vision technology, Chris? Or about
So that
how
again,
beautiful
it went out.
I said I'm gonna give everyone else like a couple minutes to like put like questions or comments or so, whatever they want in the comments. And I said, and I'm jokingly saying, do you have anything else you want to say about the podcast? Plus, talk about how beautiful I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding,
I
guys.
knew
Come
you gonna
on.
say that.
See?
Oh no, I'm just.
Okay, ignore the second part. Not about how beautiful I am. I'm not bragging at all. I'm really not. But do you have anything else you want to share about the podcast or the journey of me working with you at the podcast or anything else?
It's been a good learning experience because
I told you guys I like to crack jokes, or at least I
yeah, I know.
try to. So
Yep. It's been a good learning experience doing this podcast because the way I came about the idea of doing the podcast a couple of years ago, it started off as a blog. But since I've been in that my sister technology class working with that instructor, we turned that blog into a podcast. I don't know if I had told you about that, Helen.
it. I apologize. It broke out again. I can't
No,
control that. What did you say?
what I was saying was the idea for the Low Vision Technology podcast actually came from a blog I did a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it evolved from
Oh.
there. Yep.
See, guys, no matter what you do in your life, whether if it's something from like 5 or 10 years ago, and you like go back and look at it, it can inspire you to do new things,
Yep.
or give you the idea of like crafting something from the old, something new from the old, or old from the new, or whatever. So,
Right. Because I was in my
so yeah,
assistive techno.
that's great.
Yep, I was in my assistive technology class. She was talking to me about the teacher was talking to me about that, and then I went back and looked at the old blog I wrote. I was like, that's a good idea to do a podcast or a spinoff of the blog.
Yeah, it really is. And and also in general with TV shows or with anything, when people do a spin-off or something, sometimes some shows they're meant to not have a spin-off because it would probably make the show look worse than what the original was, but sometimes
Hmm.
spin-offs are for good. So,
Yep.
Blind Toast says since the podcast is recorded already, you could just post it on YouTube. It doesn't need to be a video because it's audio. Okay, but my question is because I don't know, how do you post audio, just audio, not being a video on YouTube? Because I don't know that. I've never done it. So, can you tell me that? Unless if
Yeah,
Chris knows how, but I
I want
don't.
I want to know that too. I'm confused on that myself.
Yeah, how do you post just audio on YouTube? Because it's videos. I never found anything on YouTube just being audio, or it being audio only. So, if you know how, please tell, because that'd be cool. Because then we can actually post that on YouTube quite easily.
I'm wondering if I'm wondering if all we do is copy the link and then go to YouTube and post it.
Possibly, I don't know. I'll have to. If you want, Chris, I can go into Anchor and just
Hmm.
pick one of the episodes and post it, or try to
Yeah.
post it. But yet again, I'm not in the low vision technology podcast thing. So I mean, not the low vision technology podcast, the low vision technology YouTube channel, because I can't
See,
figure out how to get in it. So
see if you can post it to your channel.
okay. And if I can, do you still want me to keep it there? Like, and just like make like a playlist of it, or do you?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes, yes.
will do. Yeah, because I'm curious. I'm curious if that will work. I don't know, but we'll find out.
Uh, hmm.
Yes, Google will tell us that too. I'm just kidding. All I heard was Google. I didn't hear anything else. So I was like, okay, yes, Google will tell us that too.
That wasn't supposed to happen. That was a mistake.
It's fine. Hey, random things happen, Chris, and that always
Yep.
happens in my streams.
Oh
Not
yeah,
in my
I've learned.
not in my recorded videos because I can edit those.
True, I've learned that
Or
about
well,
your
my
stream,
editor edits those. I don't have enough vision to do so.
your streams, especially when a certain person in your last stream
Huh?
was eating
Yeah.
food and it made me hungry.
How?
Now I'm not talking about you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, how? Like, what?
I'm talking about a certain person. No, I'm not
Okay.
going to name.
Yeah. So I will try to go into Anchor and to click the share button or however it will let me do it. Now the thing
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of annoying now is that from before, back like in 2013 or 2014 when I first started doing videos, when you click the share button, it would say Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube doesn't pop up in
Mm-hmm.
that menu anymore. You actually have to go into the YouTube app, click video or create, click upload a video, and then that's when you would do that. So
Yeah, how do you do that with just a straight audio file?
I have no idea. I never done that. So let's mess around with it. I don't know.
Yep.
If I'm able to post it, great. I'll post it on my channel and and create a playlist for it.
Yep.
Since again we're having difficulties with the low vision technology YouTube. I
Yeah.
honestly don't know why we're having problems, but
I
we
don't
are.
either.
So.
I wish this would we could get this to work.
Blind Toes asks you, does
Mm.
Chris have the audio file, if he does, he could post it. Well, both of us do. We could just go in there and then just click
Yeah, go into
the
Anchor and just look.
share option, and if it says like copy link, yeah, yeah. So we both do. Now, of course, the one that does the editing and stuff, that would be him, because I don't have I'm not actually logged into it. He just sends me the link and I join the recording. So that's what that is.
But I do because the audio file saves
Yeah.
after you edit it and everything.
The Anchor audio file says what?
It'll save on your on the Anchor app once you edit and finish and everything.
Yeah, it should do that automatically.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I'll look into that as soon as we're actually done with this, just to see if that can work. And if it does, Boondabar. I'll just
Yep.
I'll just stick it in my channel, and make a playlist for it. And
Okay.
since again we're having issues with the low vision technology thing,
Right.
and the music and stuff that you put in the editing scenario, those are non-copyrighted songs, right?
Right. I use it straight from the app, from the Anchor app.
Okay.
Yep.
No, because I don't want to post it, and then I end up getting emails about copyright strikes. I'm like, oh
Oh,
lord.
trust me, I made sure that
Okay,
no,
cool.
I made sure that I ain't.
Yeah, no thank you. I never had a community guideline or a copyright strike, and I don't need one. So,
Hey, I feel you on that.
oh jeez. Alrighty. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I hope that Low Vision Technologies podcast will get you curious of let's see if I want to listen to this. And if you do, once again, it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. If you don't have either, please download one because that's the way
Yes,
you're gonna be able to listen to it.
to it. Yep. Unless you
So yeah,
unless you follow us on Facebook or Twitter.
yeah, I think you could listen to it that way too.
Yes.
So, do you have anything else, Chris?
I just wanted to say thank you for having me up here and tell about the podcast. And we got to do this again sometime.
Awesome. No problem. My pleasure. And once again, guys, I do general topics at 4 p.m. on the second to fourth Sunday of the month with Blind Toes and Nicole Kata. And, and of course, we'll have a third person for the special guest wise. And if I remember correctly, I think you said you wanted to join on Sunday, right? I want to make sure.
Say that again. It went out.
You said you.
Say that again. It went out.
That's fine. It's fine. That's happened to me too many times. I was saying that you said you wanted to join the general topics this Sunday, right?
If you can get me in this
Which
Sunday,
is, of course, on Sunday.
of course.
Okay, but you said you wanted to join it, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it'll just be a random chat stream where we just randomly talk about anything because Blind Toes gave me this idea of when one Sunday we'll actually have a topic and then another Sunday can just be a random chat where anything will come to mind, which is kind of a good thing. So,
Yep.
well, not kind of, it is. So, so there's. I told you I try to crack jokes. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not work.
That worked. That one worked.
Lord mercy.
See?
I know. I know. See, guys, I'm funny. No. Okay. You guys, take care. You stay safe, and I'll see you guys, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Free Central for general topics for random chat with Chris, and of course the rest of them. Y'all take care. You can say bye if you want.
Goodbye. Y'all have a good evening.
Take care, guys. Bye.